Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to be doing something very different. I'm going to be giving you some tips or some opening theories that may help you improve your game. So, if this helps someone, it would make me very happy. Don't mind the game that's playing on the background. That one doesn't really matter to the video. We're going to talk about it some other time on another video. Today, I'm just going to be giving you some theories or some opening principles that might help you improve your game or make you understand the game better. So let's get into it. So the first principle is to rapidly develop all your pieces. So you must make sure you develop your pieces very fast so you can play your plan or your game better with your pieces all developed. So the first point of rapidly developing all your pieces, the main goal of the opening is to develop all your pieces and reach castling very quickly. Then the second point, the opening is complete when one or both players have their rooks connected. So if one player has their rooks connected, they have completed the opening. Means the opposition or the opponent hasn't completed their opening if their have not connected. Then the third point is the player who finishes development first gets the initiative. Means the first player who finishes the development connecting their rooks, they get the advantage because they get to play their game, they get to attack. So they are putting their opponent under pressure with the attack. The opponent has to defend. Now the opponent is no longer focusing on developing their pieces or connecting their rooks. They have to focus on defending the player. So in other ways, they didn't have time to plan or to prepare their attack. So then now they have to play depending on their opponent's attack or their opponent's play. So, to rapidly develop your pieces helps you to have an advantage. And connecting your rooks and reaching castling very quickly helps you with an advantage. So, now we're going to go to a practical advantage and show you the moves or the play to develop all your pieces. I'm not going to give you an opening or tips. I'm just going to show you what we are trying to say when we're saying rapidly develop your pieces, reach castling very quickly. The rooks must be connected, and that gives you an advantage to play. So let's get into the play and see what actually really happens. So now I'm not sure about the opening. I'm just gonna play. I was thinking of playing the London system, but now I'm just gonna play the most common opening. So we're gonna start with e4. We're gonna play as white at this position. Let's take our opponent response with them. Let's say open plays the Sicilian defense. Oh, that's the Sicilian defense. So then we play rook to f3. Opponents play rook to c6. That's the old Sicilian variation. So continue play bishop to c4. Let's see our opponent play rook to f6, knight to f6. Sorry. Then we continue with our development. We're developing, remember, rapidly develop all your pieces. Don't plan at this stage, you're not planning anything. You just make sure that your pieces are at better squares. So we're rapidly developing all your pieces. Then opponent plays, let's say they play the king's pawn to e5. Then we continue with our play. We have to open up our pieces in order to play. So we're gonna push pawn to d3. Then opponent continues with their play. Then they are also developing. Remember, they play bishop to e7 in front of the king. Then also play bishop to d2 in front of the queen. Then remember that our points, our tips is to castle very quickly and connect our rooks. So we must castle very quickly and connect our rooks, then we can go ahead with our plan. Now our opponent has to open up the bishop. They also want to connect the rooks and castle very quickly, so they push pawn to d6. You see, playing as white, you have the advantage of having the first move. So you are the one who reaches the developing stage very quickly. Your opponent is always one step behind. So you are the first person to connect their rooks or to reach this castling stage very quickly. So play queen to e2. Then opponent listed they play bishop to e6, attacking our bishop. But our bishop is protected in that position. So you can choose to take the bishop or you can choose to castle. But since we are talking about developing your pieces, let's forget about taking pieces right now. We're gonna get to the stage on what happens when your opponents wants to attack before the development is complete. So we're gonna get there. So now let's finish off the connecting of the rooks. Castling connects the rooks automatically. There you have it. You have connected the rooks. Now you have the advantage to attack. So if your opponent attacks you, you can take back with the pawn. Now your opponent has to connect the rooks, they have to develop, but you already have an advantage to attack. So you're gonna put your opponent under pressure. So that's what I was trying to say about rapidly develop all your pieces. Make sure you castle very quickly and you connect your rooks. That gives you an advantage to attack. Let's go to our second principle. Develop knights before bishops. What I'm trying to say about this, or what it really means, is that while bishops can control squares from their original positions, they can only control those squares if they are not obstructing their way. So knights can dominate their neighborhood squares and take longer to reach opponent's field because they are less mobile pieces. So since we have to develop knights before bishops, because bishops can reach the opposition faster because they control their diagonals. If there are no pawns on that diagonal, they can control that diagonal. So if the diagonal starts from the white side, it can reach the black's position. So it means the bishop can control that entire diagonal. It means the bishop can move from that point to the other side faster than the knight. So develop your knights, because knights take longer to reach their opposition. So when you're starting your opening, make sure that you develop your knight first. Or even if you don't start with developing your knight, let's take you have a different opening. Make sure that your third or your second move is a knight move. Always make sure that your second or third move is a knight move, or your fourth move. Make sure that you play your knight. Develop your knight before developing your bishops. You can develop a bishop if you're opening, let's take you play the London system. You can develop your bishop, but make sure that the next move you play a knight, or the second next move you play your knight, so you can reach your opposition faster. So now we're gonna go to our board and really test out this theory, or what I'm trying to say when I say move your knights or develop your knights before your bishops. So we have our board here. So you're gonna play since I was talking about bishop, let's take you play the London system. You play pawn, you play the queen's pawn when you're playing the London system. Then your opponent responds with the pawn there. Then let's take the London system. Make sure that you don't play that. There's another way of playing the London. You can first play with the bishop to f4, but I prefer you to play it this way. Play with the knight first. Make sure you develop your knights before you develop your bishops. So you can now play your bishop. Let's see our opponent plays here. As you can see, our opponent is playing their knights. They are developing their knights first. Then you play your London system, or we're testing with the London system because it requests you to play the bishop. So your opponent responds with the pawn to, let's not attack because we're still with the opening, but we're gonna get to the stage where your opponent attacks you before the opening is complete, as I said the previous principle. So let's first solve this knight thing, then we're gonna get there. When we get there, your opponent pushes the pawn. Then make sure your next move is like playing the knight, but in the London system you have to play a pawn here. So after playing pawn to e3, make sure that your next move you play a knight to c3. Now your knights can reach position faster, so they can get here fast, and your other knight can get here. If not being attacked, I know it's being attacked. I'm just showing an example. If not being attacked at that position, it can really get there faster. So now it's only one move away from the position. Now it's occupying the center. Now it's one move away from the opposition, so it can attack fast. So what I'm trying to say that develop your knight first before your bishops. Because bishops like this, like bishop here, can control this diagonal from here to here. It can get there. Of course, not gonna play that move because it's attacked. I'm just showing an example. It control this entire diagonal. If there are no pawns, like if this pawn is not played, it can move the entire diagonal. So that's our second principle. Now we're gonna go to our third principle. Our third principle: do not move the same piece twice during an opening. Really try to avoid this. Do not move the same piece twice during an opening. What I'm trying to say is that try to play pieces at the best possible position at the first move. Or it's a waste of time to move the same piece more than once during an opening. It may cause you an advantage in the game. So try by all means not to move the same piece twice. So which means play your piece to the square where it's not very easily attacked. So let's go to our board, and this one requires the board very fast and don't need to explain that much. Let's say we play our opening. Let's play our opening. Opponent responds. Knight to f3. Now we're playing this opening, but that doesn't really matter. Let's take we both do not accept. I just protect my pawn. My opponent protects their pawn, he or she. We're still in our opening. Let's take you play knight here. Do not play that move, because that if you are looking to sacrifice knight, I see your plan, but doesn't really give you any advantage or anything. You're just gonna go back to the starting square. After opponent takes this and you take back, and they move like this position. Let's take your opponent moves back because they don't want to move the same piece twice. Now you go back to square one. Now you have to develop again. So let's not try to do that. Let's not try to sacrifice pieces if we're not done with our position, or no, let's not try to exchange pieces. Let's take you away here, right? Then you play knight to this position. Try to avoid that. Don't play a move not doing anything. The knight to b5 does nothing for you because it can easily be attacked. Now you are making a waste. You have to go back. You wasted a move, or you wasted your turn. Now your opponent can develop. Let's say they play bishop here. They get an advantage, and you started by white. Now your opponent has an advantage, but you're the one who started to play. So try that. Try not to avoid that. Try not to play the same piece twice during an opening. You can play the same piece twice in the middle game, in the end game. That's practical. That's what you have to do. But I'm talking about opening. So try to put your pieces in position where they are not attacked. They're like playing bishop here. It's not really easily attacked because if you play pawn here, it can actually be captured. If you play pawn here, let's take if you attack the bishop here, it can actually be captured by the other pawn. So try to put your pieces in opening in squares where they are not easily attacked, and don't move the same piece twice. Continue with your opening. So now let's go to our fourth point, or fourth principle. Our fourth principle is don't make unnecessary pawn moves during an opening. Try to avoid that. What I mean, pawns should be restricted restricted during opening, because the time involved in this move will be applied to develop another piece. So you should avoid moving pawns during an opening, because the time that you made to move that pawn, you should be developing your bishop or your knight or your queen or castling or connecting your rooks. By making that pawn move, A pawn move that does nothing, does not affect the game, does not attack the opponent, just a move. Avoid doing those pawn moves. Then the second point, general moving pawn is suitable when a player aims to open a diagonal of for the queen or the bishop or to occupy the center. That's when you make a pawn move during an opening. It's either you are making a pawn move to open up for the queen or to open up for the bishop or to take the center, because in chess, when you are playing the opening, we're looking to take the center. We're looking to control the center. So those are the only three things or three conditions where you have to move the pawn. Let's go to the board. I like going to the board to practicalize this. Or I'm not sure that if that's the way to practicalize. Just created that one. Maybe it should be added to a dictionary. Let's continue. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's continue. Let's take you are playing your opening. Let's play our opening like this. And then we're here. Then you just make this pawn move. What does that do? Nothing. It did not it did not open up any pieces. It's not occupying the center. It does nothing. So avoid making moves like that. Make only this kind of pawn moves if you're done with the development. You can move this pawn later in the game if you're done with the development. Try to avoid that. Don't make a pawn move that waste, or don't make a pawn move if your pieces are not off the starting squares and your rooks are not connected. Don't make those pawn. Make them if you're attacking. Let's take this. You are here. Let's take this back. Let's make a move here. Let's take your opponent that's taking here. Now you can make this move because it does something. You are pushing the bishop away. Play this move only when you are attacking the bishop, or you're tossing this if you have an idea, or you're tossing this square for the bishop not to come to this position. If you know what I mean. So avoid doing unnecessary pawn moves where you should be using that time playing a developing move or playing a better piece. So avoid that. Only play pawn moves after those three conditions that I given you. If you want to open up the queen or the bishop, or to control the center. Let's go to our fifth point. This is gonna be our final point. There are many, no, our final principle. Sorry about point. Our final principle. There are many principles. I'm probably gonna make another video about the other principles. There are many principles. So these are just the first ones. I hope they really help someone. So let's go to number 5. Don't check if not necessary. People have this checking things, especially they love to check and they don't have a plan of why they're checking the king. They just, oh, it's a check, let me play that move. A check can be easily defended by the opponent. It's unnecessary. A check that can be easily defended, it's a unnecessary check. Why are you making a check when you know that I'm going to be defended? And most checks during the opening are easily defended. So we're gonna go to the board and show you those checks that we left. Everybody knows those checks. We're gonna go to those checks. I know those checks. I've played those checks before. That doesn't do anything. Let's go to our opening. Let's avoid the London system. Let's play the king's pawn now. We're gonna play like as our principles told us. Move the knights before the bishops. So gonna protect here. We're gonna play the same because I'm the only person that's playing. I'm not playing a different person. But let's not do that, and let's take we play here, then open a place here. Let's protect that way. Or let's play like this because we really want this to work. Then open a place here. Then we make this move here, check. That does nothing. Why are you playing that check? People like this check, this bishop check, and the other one is this kind of check, this check. Why are you playing this check if there's no if there's a bishop here? If there's a bishop maybe somewhere here, or maybe there's a piece that you're attacking, make that check with the queen. But if you're not attacking any piece, there are no pieces attacking you, why are you making this check? Because I can easily defend this check like this. And that the bishop one, this one, the bishop one, can easily be defended like this or with the knight. So avoid making these unnecessary checks because they do nothing for you. So those are the first 5 principles to help you improve your game in chess. So make sure you apply those. You won't like get them very quickly. Just apply them little by little or game by game to improve your play in chess. So those were the first 5 principles. I'm probably gonna post another video about the rest, but there are so many, so I can't put them in one video. The video will be too long, to be like 2 hours, and it's hard to edit a 2-hour video. So I'm able to edit videos like this very fast. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps someone who's watching. I really hope it helps someone improve their game. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share. Until we see each other again, probably tomorrow when I drop another video. Thank you again. Bye bye.